Page 4, problem 15. By the addition method means add the columns, but when you add the columns you want something to disappear. So we could make this into a 20x and a minus 20x if we want, or we could do a negative 10 and a positive 10 would probably be easier since the signs are already opposite there. So let's do that. I'm shooting for making this a negative 10 versus a positive 10. So I need to multiply by a positive 5 there. And as I do that, I'll get 20x minus 10y equals minus 10. Okay. And then down here, I want the opposite in the y column. I want this to be a positive 10. I need to multiply it by 2. If I multiply everything by 2, I get 10x plus 10y, see there's the opposites that we want, equals negative 80. Now I can add the columns. And I'll have 30x, y's disappear as we planned, equals negative 90. And if I divide both sides by positive 30, get x equals negative divided by positive is negative, 90 divided by 30 is 3. So we have negative 3 for x so far. And then I can use that solution for x and plug it in either one of these. I think I'm going to use the bottom one. All right, 5 times negative 3 plus 5 times y equals negative 40. And that's negative 15 plus 5y equals, oops, almost lost the minus sign there, negative 40. Add 15 to both sides. And I get 5y equals negative 40 plus 15 is negative 25. And divide by positive 5, I get y equals negative divided by positive is negative, 25 divided by 5 is 5. So negative 5 for y. So here's the solution. Negative 3 for x, 5 for y. We're just writing negative 3 comma negative 5. Oh! Now, next one says solve by substitution. And notice that the first equation says y is equal to that. That means we can substitute this expression for y in the other equation. For this bottom equation, let me copy that. So it says y equals that. Well, instead of writing the y, I can write what the top equation says is the same thing as a y, negative 4x minus 8. Then I solve this for x. So let's get all the x's together. I'm going to add 4x to both sides. And I get minus 8. See, adding the 4x does not affect the minus 8, equals 9x plus 1. Now I subtract 1. And I have negative 9 equals 9x. And I divide both sides by positive 9. I get x equals negative 1. So my solution so far is negative 1 for x. And then take that negative 1 and put it in here or here. It makes no difference. You're going to get the same answer for what's the value for y. So if I put it in the top one, negative 4 times negative 1, take away 8. How much is that? That's positive 4. Take away 8 is negative 4. If I would put it in here, 5 times negative 1 would be negative 5. Negative 5 plus 1. Get the same result, negative 4. And finally on page 4, simplify this means get rid of the parentheses and get rid of any negative exponents. Well, everything in here is to the second power. 2 to the second power is 4. And a variable to a power, we multiply powers. We get negative 4, and we get w to the negative 10. And we don't want to have any negative exponents. So remember, you can just put everything over a 1 and cross stuff across the, jump stuff across the fraction bar and change the sign of the powers. So this becomes 4 over n to the 4th w to the 10th. If you don't follow that argument, if you miss that lesson somehow, remember this is the same as 4 times 1 over n to the 4th times 1 over w to the 10th. And then if you think of the 4 as 4 over 1 and multiply this out, you wind up with the same answer anyhow. But it's quicker if you do this jump across the bar thing. Remember, you can do that jump across the bar shortcut as long as there's no plus signs or minus signs in between your terms. If everything's being multiplied, top and bottom, there's no adding or subtracting of terms, then you can just move stuff across the bar. Okay, that's the end of page 4.